Hello and welcome. I hope you're safe and well. Today's exciting episode is me making a wearable mock-up of Burda pattern 5860. It says it's a jacket, but it's really a short coat.
It's perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Perfect jacket.
Okay, so I bought this pattern because it looks super cute. I like the short one and with the patchwork. And I've got loads of scraps of fabric, so I thought, oh, maybe if it works out, I'll do it. I don't like it because I have no shoulders, but I'll show you the process anyway. I didn't do the coat because it just would have swamped me. And these are the Burda pattern instructions. So if you normally when you buy Simplicity, McCall's, Vogue, they show you there's like little pictures of what each of the pattern pieces look like. And I like looking at that when I'm having a coffee before I start doing the pattern, like making something, because I sort of understand how to change from 2D to like a dimensional 3D garment. So the Burda patterns don't have that, and it throws me off. They do list all the pattern pieces, obviously, and there are pictures in another part, but yes, anyway. And also so in the middle of the tissue paper, it's like 4 times as big as the normal sheets, or 2 times as big or something. They are giant. Anyway, right in the middle, they've got all the measurements. So if you don't know how to do it from just the regular sizing and you usually use the actual measurements, normally on a Simplicity, they're on like one of the corners. They're smack bang in the middle of this giant sheet. So good luck getting to them. But anyway, so I traced out all the pieces that I needed, and then I looked at the instructions, but the instructions are in like 3 different languages, and they print them really small because it's a European company that has since been bought by Simplicity. But anyway, so they look a bit boring, so I decided I'd just go for it. And I decided I didn't want to do this one in cotton because it sort of looks more like a coat than a jacket. So I thought I should use a heavier fabric. So I've got a couple of denims because it's floral month. I wanted to use one of the florals, but this pattern, the pieces are so big, so much bigger than what I'm used to, because I normally make Chanel style cropped collarless jackets, and this one is just massive. Anyway, I eventually cut out all the pieces from I had 3 yards of this denim, so I still have enough of this denim to make one standard Chanel style jacket, which is good. So I cut out all the pieces, and there's like little cuffs around the wrists of the sleeves, and there's this long belt bit that goes around your waist, or waistband, obviously. And yeah, so I cut all those out, and you have to sew them together. And you're supposed to have, I'm just showing you here, so these ones that I'm showing you are the little bits for around the bands around the sleeves. And the long one there is the one you sew it 2 bits into one, and it becomes the waistband bit. I'm not sure if you could tell, but it's got a waistband. I don't know that it's absolutely necessary, but I mean, they did it. So yeah, so I just pinned together all the bits that needed to be pinned together. And the way the front piece is, they sort of extend the lapels and collar right back. So you end up sewing the 2 front sides together at the back of the collar, and that forms the whole back of the collar. It's a bit weird. But anyway, and then once I'd done that, I decided I wanted to top stitch because it's denim. I absolutely hate top stitching, but because it's denim, it's so stiff, you kind of have to. So yeah, I got out some bright yellow, and then I sort of pinned everything into place, turned everything out the correct way after I'd sewn them together, and pinned them. So now I'm going to do all the ridiculous amounts of top stitching, and also on the back of the collar. So there's the front piece of the jacket, front left, front right, and there's also front facing left, front facing right. And yeah, the facing, you join them together at the back to make them into one whole piece, and the same for the other. So this is me just showing you that I have indeed done my top stitching in yellow. So now I've got all the pieces. So and so the cuff sort of band bits, you have a short one that you put on one side and a long one that you put on the other side, and it just makes it go that once you sew the sleeve together, it will look like it's just one continuous band. So you have to measure where they sit and machine sew them on so that the sleeve is ready to go. You don't do the sleeve for a bit. But anyway, now it is time to sew the front of the jacket to the back of the jacket at the sleeves, at the shoulders, just the shoulders, not the sides. So I pinned them into place and I machine sewed them. And once you've done the shoulders bit, then you have to sort of clip the curves of the back of the collar and you pin that into place. It's rather tricky. And once you've done that, I had to read the instructions because I wasn't sure I was doing it right, because they sort of make you stretch it out awkwardly. And once you've done that, then you have to pin the collar to the facing collar, so the front pieces to the front facing pieces, and that way when you turn the collar out, you don't see the inside of the front, you actually see the front facing. So I pinned them together, sewed them together, and then you have to pin them into place so I can do yet more top stitching. And yeah, I just didn't realize when I was looking at it exactly how much top stitching there would be. Anyway, you don't do that top stitching yet because there's a whole thing. Anyway, basically you have to put the sleeves in, then you can sew the side seams in, then you can add the bottom waistband, and then you can do all the top stitching around the edge of the collar that goes down the lapel, down to the waistband, and you do the whole of that top stitching at once. So I had to show it to you on the mannequin, but I thought I'd show you this first. My last video was me making this tweed Chanel style jacket. It's a discontinued pattern, McCall's 6041, but I personally recommend Vogue 7975. But this has just got baggier sleeves, and I've got so many of the Vogue 7975s that I want a few of this. And I've just finished the beading. Last time I showed you, I hadn't quite finished the beading. I had as you can see, I've got a few left over. So I just had a few hundred more of the beads to go, and I finally finished it, so I thought I'd show you that. I was tempted to try and squeeze all the beads in, but I think I'm going to save them for something else. I do love how closely they match the tweed color-wise from far away. Anyway, here we are. So we've still got all that ridiculous amount of pins in there because it's denim, so it's quite tough and you need quite a lot of pins, but it does look absolutely ridiculous. Anyway, so this mannequin has basically the same lack of shoulders that I have. And you can see in a minute I'll put up one of my Vogue 7975 jackets beside it, and you'll see what I mean by this one just looks like an absolute coat compared to, so a coat is something you wear when it's cold outside or windy, and then you take off when you go inside, whereas a jacket, you just wear it, you can keep wearing it when you're inside. And what I put this on here for is to show you that the waistband bit doesn't meet at the front. I was really puzzled by this. It might just be that I was in quite a hurry. I didn't have much sewing time, so I may have cut the pieces wrong. I did get my pieces out again and check, and they look fine to me, but it's possible I don't know, that I've never had a Burda pattern be wrong before, so it's probably me that's wrong. But anyway, I didn't really have time to unpick the back, sew in an extra piece and then do that, so I just re-sewed the front seams that go down, those lapels and the collar are just way too wide for me anyway, so I just increased the seam allowance on the bottom bit, and that way it sort of fell in line, and the other pieces weren't too short. So also it's a size 8, which was the smaller size in the pattern, and I wanted a size 6. So it's double-breasted. So I've sort of pinned where the buttons will go. I haven't done them yet. I've got those clip ones, the press stud ones, and I'm just going to do a big self-covered button on the outside, so it's going to be camouflage on camouflage sort of thing. So yes, and I'm going to do a same false button for the bands around the cuffs as well. But there you go. And I've put my Vogue 7975 jacket, the tweed jacket, on the left there. That is a Linton tweed that I made, 12, 13, 15 years ago. A very, very long time. Maybe 13 years ago, perhaps. That's one of the things I love about tweed jackets. If you make the outside of tweed, you give a structural layer and the lining of silk, they just age so, like, it is an investment piece, but they just age so well. It's incredible. Anyway, so we're supposed to be looking at this denim jacket. And I have 1 yard of this denim left, so I think I'm going to make another jacket out of that. But I probably won't make any more jackets out of this. This is my leftover piece of fabric. I probably won't make this pattern again, just because as soon as I got the pieces out, I was like, this is going to swamp me. And I mean, if I want clothes that won't fit me, I can just go to a regular store and buy something off the rack that makes me look like a child wearing adult's clothes. So yeah, I think I'll use the rest of the denim to make a camouflage Chanel style jacket and then bead over them with my taxi cab beads. If the ones I showed you, they're rondelle faceted in that taxi cab sort of mustardy yellow color. I showed you them in January when I did the Desperately Seeking Susan capsule collection. Anyway, yeah, I really like this pattern. It's not for me, but I do like the pattern, and I love those belt things around the cuffs. I think I'll definitely use that. If I have some leftover tweed on, I've got this Chanel style jacket, Vogue 1735, I think it might be. It's got slightly flared sleeves. So yeah, I think it would look really cute with those little belt things around the cuffs of the sleeves. Anyway, yes, I'm glad I made it, but I'm definitely not going to make it again. It's very big, but it will work well as a coat, or like a denim jacket. So yes, and I love that I made it out of this fabric. It's fabulous. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. I hope this was useful, and happy sewing.